Hi, everyone, and welcome to our Zoom meeting today. I am Cindy Walter, and I have corporate here to help us with the leadership pools. And we've got Adam Packard that's going to be helping us, and we're going to share his screen, and he's going to walk us through the leadership pools. And I'm going to be very, very candid with you. The reason we're doing this is because last month I lost out on $1,000 because I missed one little detail on the leadership pools. And I was texting with Erica or messaging with Erica that morning, and she explained it to me how I missed it. And I was, of course, sick for myself, but determined that none of you are going to miss out. So that's why Adam offered to do this webinar so that we can really educate you guys on the pools, how much money is available to you in the pools. I mean, just a few of us that are on this Zoom meeting today have made thousands of dollars on the pools. Erica, would you mind unmuting for 1 second and just share what's been your highest month pool earnings so far?
Actually, what I got paid on yesterday, I think it was like $4,600 or something like that.
Oh, that's awesome.
So that's $4,183.
$4,000, guys, the extra, and that's just in her leadership pools. That doesn't include PIBs, double PIBs. That doesn't include cycling and the residual income.
Highest for $5,000. I got two $5,000 ones in the 1-star pool when I first did that 2 years ago.
Right, you were probably maxing those out then. Yeah. So there is a lot of money to be made in these pools, guys, and it's really important we understand that. And I know a lot of you are like me, maybe saying you're not numbers people, and you really need to understand these. So Adam, thank you so much for joining us. I want to introduce you guys to Adam. He's rather new in our Isogenics world, but he's not new to network marketing. He has over 10 years experience in the field doing what we're doing. So we are so glad to have you today, Adam. So welcome, and when you're ready to take over, you can share your screen.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Yeah, this is going to be fun. There's a lot of details in these that I think people miss out on. And as we're making calls and reaching out to people, a lot of people don't realize that they're leaving money on the table when they don't understand how these things work. So hopefully give you guys some details. If you have questions on how they work, and if we don't answer all your questions through this webinar, then hopefully we can address them as they come up. So I'm going to pull up my screen here and start to share with you guys. Okay, and Cindy, can you see my screen?
Perfect, yep.
Good. Okay. All right, so we're going to make this a little interactive too, because I don't like talking the entire time, but and a lot of the slides you'll see here are a little bit repetitive as well, but I think they do that on purpose, so you really kind of drive home the point. But the leadership pools, really what this is all about is growing your business. They're going to reward you just for building your business and growing your team, which is just money, extra money on the table. Helps to grow your team's leadership. The growth is cycle-based only. They have the director and executive pool payout, which is based on your personal monthly net cycle growth. And the other pools, the 2 to 3 star, 4 to 6 star, and 7 star and above, are based on 4 PET monthly net cycle growth. So we actually have kind of 2 webinars in one. We have the first part, which we're going to talk about the director and the executive pool. And then we're going to skip ahead and talk about the 2-star and above pools. So you can see the differences in how they work. But basically, the more you grow, the more you make. So as we move forward here. So if you see me looking over to the left, it's because my screen over here is a little bit bigger and I can see the actual numbers. But this is an example of what you would see in your back office under contests and promotions. You'll see director leadership bonus pool, and it shows your net cycle benchmark. Obviously, we have to have a way to reward you for business growth, and in order to do that, we have to have some kind of a benchmark to start with. So in this example, we have a net cycle benchmark of 6. So basically, you're taking all the weeks that you have there with your cycles, adding them up, dividing it by how many weeks you have. So you can see net cycle benchmark of 6, and then you have personal net cycle growth. So this is an example of what you would earn. So you've got a total of 9 if you add all those up, and then basically down here you've got which weeks you qualified. We're going to talk about how you qualify every single week, so you make sure you don't miss out on a week. And then here's the equation that they follow. So you get your monthly net cycles divided by how many weeks are in the month, multiplied times how many weeks you qualified. So we're going to see this screen again. So if you don't get all those numbers, don't worry. We're going to see it again. So director and executive pools first, like I mentioned. So these pools, in order to qualify, so important stuff here, must be on auto ship, must be paid as director or executive all 7 days of the week. And that's something that's obviously, that's why they underlined it and had it bold. You want to make sure you stay paid as, because if one day you fall off, or let's say you're a director and you lose a consultant, if you don't get them back by the end of the day, then you're not paid as director that day, and that week won't count. So you want to make sure you're paid as director or executive all 7 days in order for that week to count. For these pools, you only have to have at least one qualifying week to participate, and you have to have a personal monthly net cycle growth of 2 cycles, which isn't a lot, but again, if your business isn't growing, there's no money in the leadership pools for you. So you have to grow your business in order to participate in these pools, and the growth is above your benchmark for the month. And obviously, as you grow, your benchmark is going to change as well. And then this promotion is only in US, Canada, Puerto Rico, Australia, and New Zealand. So any questions from you guys out there so far? Are we doing good? Can you hear me? Everybody's muted. Oh, we're good. Thumbs up. Good. Okay, so director and executive pool, how it works. So we take a 4-week average, which is called your benchmark of your cycles. And if you look under your associate back office under contests and promotions, you'll see what your benchmark is, so you know what you have to beat. So in this example, the week ending January 5th, personal cycle count was 5, then the next week was 6, then 7, then 6. So we add those up, divided by how many weeks, so we've got a net cycle benchmark of 6. So that is our benchmark and what we need to grow over. How it works. Each contest week, calculate the difference between your benchmark and your personal cycles. Pretty simple. If your personal cycles are above your benchmark, that's growth. We call that your net cycle growth. We combine all the weeks of the net cycle growth, and that's called your personal monthly net cycle growth. So you can see the abbreviation here, NCG plus NCG plus NCG plus NCG equals PMNCG, which is what Kristen says. I love that. So PMNCG. Not sure why they abbreviate that, but personal monthly net cycle growth. So again, we saw this example before. This is interesting. If you have a negative, so let's say your benchmark is 6 and your personal cycles are 5 for the month, you have a negative net 1 for that week. That does add into your total, so it doesn't count as a 0. It does count as a negative 1. So obviously, if you have a down week, you want to make sure you make up for it in the other weeks. And you can see in this example, in week 4, they had 5 cycle growth, so that made up for it. So their personal monthly net cycle growth in this example was 8. Again, here is the formula that we use. So personal monthly net cycle growth divided by the number of weeks in the month, because some weeks or some pools we have 4 weeks and some we have 5. And then how many weeks were you qualified? So again, make sure you're paid as executive or paid as director all 7 days of the week to qualify that week. And in this example, remember our personal monthly net cycle growth was 8, and there are 4 weeks in the month. And how many weeks did we qualify for? I think in that one we qualified for all 4, but we'll show you some numbers here in a second, and we'll kind of bring it home. This is a calendar of when the pools start and end. This is a little older one, but you can find an updated one again in your back office. I believe the one that we're in currently ends on October 25th. We had one that just paid out on October 12th. So that was the check that Susan was talking about, or Erica was talking about. Really important to know when they start and stop, because these aren't based on calendar month. So you want to know when does your leadership pool start. And then you see the payout and all that good stuff. So it tells you how many weeks are in that month. And you'll see also which weeks you're qualified. This is all in your back office. So you'll see if you qualified each one of these weeks. In this example, they were qualified all 4 weeks as a director. So let's get into an example here. So we have the 8 monthly net cycles divided by weeks in the month times 4 qualified weeks equals 8 shares. And you can work with these numbers. So if you know you want to hit a certain target, you can plug in, okay, I'm going to qualify all 4 weeks. There's 4 weeks in the month. What do I need to achieve every single week in order to get my shares up? So you can work with that. So the director and executive pool share value, there's $75,000 in the director pool, and there's $125,000 in the executive pool. And basically they just figure out how many people qualified or how many shares there were total, and that is what the share value is. So it's a little bit different every single month. Again, must be qualifications. Again, we repeat this because it's important. Must be on auto ship, must be paid as director or executive all 7 days of the week, must have at least one qualifying week to participate, and must have personal monthly net cycle growth of 2 cycles above your benchmark for the month. And
Hey,
here's,
Adam,
yeah, go for it.
are you gonna talk about before we move on to the next pool what the share value is at, right? Oh, yes, you are. I asked too quickly.
I'll
Because
give you an example, but it changes every month. But I think the most important thing is not the share value, but it's how to max it out.
Right, but I just want people to understand the power of it. I had a team member earn 8 shares and just get paid out like $1,000. That is incredible.
Yeah, it's. I'll ask Ed, what was the share value for director and executive? Can you pull it up for me? So we'll find out. But again, if it's not what it was this last month, don't be disappointed if, hey, the share value is a lot lower or a lot higher. We never know. What is it? No, just what the share value was for. Oh yeah, we will. Live office setting. For which one, director? 252 was the share value for director
Wow.
this last month, and executive was 236. So
Wait, I'm sorry, can I ask a question? You only can be in this pool for, did you say 3 months, right?
Yep, I think we get into that here in a little bit. 3 months in the director and 6 months in the executive.
Okay.
Yep. So in this example, we had a personal monthly net cycle growth of 9. So divided by weeks in the month of 4, qualified weeks 4. So we had 9 shares. So let's get into some numbers here. So this is an example. In this example, the director pool share value in January was $94.07. In what was it, $200 something in this last one, which is crazy. So in this example, you had 8 shares times $94.07 per share. So you'd earn $752.56. And again, like Cindy talked about, this is on top of what you're already making with the cycles and with your PIBs, your double PIBs, your retail, all that stuff. So additional $752, which is pretty good. Executive pool payout in January was $229, so you can see the difference here. Your share value is $229 times 8 shares. You would have earned $1,834.88. Now, this is something I would take a picture of or just memorize it because really important. If you have, there's certain caps on the leadership pool. So there's max of what you can earn in the director pool is $2,500, and the max in the executive pool is $5,000. So how do you max these things out? Well, if you have 1 to 5 shares, then you're at $500 max, or 1 to 5 qualified net cycle growth. You have $500 max. 6 to 10 is 1,000. 11 plus is 2,500. So you can see if you're at 10, if you knew that you only had to get 1 more net cycle to get to that next level of maxing it out, it's a huge difference. So the executive pool is a little bit different. Again, 6 to 10, 1,000, 11 plus the max is 5,000. So just knowing that little tidbit right there can save you or put more money in your pocket. So make sure that you guys understand that, teach that to your teams, and pass that info along because that's important to know. So in this example here that we just had, we had 8 shares times 9407, so 752. Because we had 8, was between 6 and 10. The max again there would be 1,000, so there's no cap. So good to know that. You can see it's important to understand those caps. However, if you were in the executive pool and you had between 6 and 10, and this is an example, you had 8, the cap is 1,000. So instead of earning the whatever it was, $1,800, you would be capped at $1,000. So you left $800 on the table there because you didn't grow your business to the point where you had that 11 plus shares. So you can see an example of leaving some money on the table there. Still, $1,000 is still good, but could be more. Again, qualification only in the U.S., Canada, Puerto Rico, Australia, New Zealand. And this is what Tara was asking about. You can only participate in the director pool for 3 consecutive months and the executive pool for 6 consecutive months. So your clock starts the first month that you qualify in each pool. So if you qualify for a week in the director pool this month, then that's month one for you participating in the director pool. And it's 3 consecutive months. So if next month you fall back to manager or consultant, that counts as your month 2. So again, this promotion is to reward you for growth. So if your business isn't growing, they're not going to pay you out in the leadership pools. Same thing for the executive pool. Starts when you first qualify for the executive pool and goes for 6 months consecutive. So what's nice is as you're growing your business, they're kind of paying you this additional money, and hopefully over those 3 months that you're a director and 6 months that you're an executive, now you're kind of working up to being a 2-star and above, which is a totally different leadership pool, which we're going to get into now. So I'll pause here for a second, and I don't know if I unmute or Cindy does that, but anybody have any questions on the director or executive pools?
I'm good. Does anyone else have questions?
I think the content's great. I mean, I get it, so maybe it's easy, because I understand it, but I think it's really great.
Well, I think it's important if you have someone that's growing their business, and we're getting the last week or 2 of the leadership pool, and you know what the dates are. It's really important to know what the dates are of each pool, and then making sure, obviously, you stay qualified every single day of the week. But if you have someone that is close to that, 9, 10, 11 shares, you want to look at their business and say, okay, how many cycles do we need to grow by in order to get you to that next level? Because it can make a big difference in their bonus pool payout. So I think that's something we should be sharing with our team. So now, totally different pool and totally different way in how this part of it, these pools work. We first need to talk about your 4 PET, and this might be elementary stuff for a lot of people that have been in the business for a while, but it's good for newer people to understand what the 4 PET is, how it works, and how it contributes to your bonus pool payout. So we're going to get into the 2-star and above pools now, and it's based off your 4 PET, so 4-level personally enrolled team. So we're going to go through a little example here of what that exactly means. What is your 4 PET anyway? So 4 levels of personally enrolled genealogy, friend of a friend of a friend of a friend. And again, it's important for executive leadership pools, key performance indicators, millionaire in action, President's Quest, top achievers. So you always want to be growing your 4 PET. So here's an example. So Jesse starts his business. He enrolls Lisa and Zach on their first PET. So personally sponsored, first level, Lisa and Zach. They're on your 1 PET. Lisa goes out and brings in Kelly. So Kelly is on Lisa's 1 PET, and Kelly is on your 2 PET. Same thing over here. Actually, Zach doesn't sponsor this person. You sponsor Slater, even though he's under Zach, because we're building, again, 2 teams. If you personally sponsor Slater, he is still your 1 PET. Now Kelly goes out and sponsors Screech, and Screech is on your 3 PET, Kelly's 1 PET, Lisa's 2 PET. So hopefully you guys are kind of catching on to how this works. And as you grow a team of 2 sides, obviously you're going to have, I could sponsor someone, 30 people below Zach, but if I sponsor them, even though they're 30 people away from Zach, they're still my 1 PET because I personally brought them in. So Slater brings in Mr. Belding, and Mr. Belding is on your 2 PET because, again, you brought in Slater. Slater brought in Mr. Belding. And to complete the example, Screech brought in Mac. Mac is on your 4 PET because Screech is on your 3. So you guys kind of see how this process will unfold. So obviously the more people you personally enroll, chances are larger your 4 PET team's going to grow as you develop leaders in your team. So why is this important? 2-star and above pools. So hopefully we're all shooting for 2-star and above. So here are the qualifications for the 2-star and above pools. Must be on auto ship, must be paid as executive. Being paid as director doesn't count. You have to be paid as executive all 7 days of the week. You need a minimum cycles by rank per week. We'll get into that. You need at least one net 4 PET monthly net cycle growth, and you have to participate at least 2 weeks in one pool. So remember, the director and executive was you only had to participate 1 week. In these, you have to participate at least 2 weeks. Qualifications. So here we go. And this is something I know Cindy, we had a situation with hers this last leadership pool, and I know she understands this completely now, and something a lot of people don't know, but it's really important that one of your qualifications is you have to have 10 net personal cycle growth for the 2 to 3 star pool, and 20 net personal cycle growth for the 4 to 6 and 7 star and above pools. And these are just qualifiers. Doesn't affect your payout. It helps you qualify for those certain pools. And you have to have growth in both your personal cycles and in your 4 PET. I actually had a few examples of people that thought they had qualified for a certain pool, but they didn't because they missed one of these qualifications. So it happens quite a bit. And the share values are predetermined. And again, this promotion is only in US, Canada, Puerto Rico, Australia, and New Zealand. So what we do here is, instead of looking at a 4-week benchmark, remember the director and executive pools, we focus on your personal cycle growth in the 2-star and above, because now you have a larger team. It's not just based on your personal cycle count, it's based on your 4 PET cycle count. So, and they don't take a 4-week benchmark, they take a 13-week benchmark. So in this example, we take the 13-week period, and again, it's going to be, you'll see the calendar in your back office as to which 13 weeks. And you can see, if you're in one of these pools, you'll be able to see what your benchmark is. But in this example, we take all the 13 weeks of the 4 PET, divided by 13, and you can see the net, the 4 PET net is 59. That's your benchmark there. And your personal cycle count benchmark was 18 here. So here's how it works. Each contest week, calculate the difference between your benchmark and 4 PET and personal cycles. So in this example here, our benchmark, remember, was 59. Our 4 PET cycles for the leadership pool month that we're in would be 74, 94, 46, and then had an awesome 124 here. So we add all those up. We have 102 monthly net cycle growth.
I have a question.
Fire away.
I think it's probably going back a couple slides, but my question is this. So if you're in the 2-star pool and you do not cycle 20 times, which is 2-star, so say your benchmark is 18, okay?
Okay.
But you still have to cycle 20, don't you, or no?
No, you have to just cycle. Your growth has to be. Remember, your personal cycle growth is only a qualifier.
I understand.
But to be in the 2-star pool, you have to have to be a 2-star to be qualified for that week. You have to have 20 cycles to be in the 2-star pool to be qualified.
Even though your benchmark is 18. So if you hit your benchmark, so say if your benchmark is 18, because a lot of people, when they're new, as a new 2-star, they're not hitting 2-star.
Right.
You know what I mean? So they're not in the executive pool anymore, but so now they're in the 2-star pool, and say their benchmark is 18. So do they, if they meet the benchmark 18, are they still qualified for that week?
Well, let's look at this as an example. So this person was 59. So you're saying if they were averaging, again, this is 4 PET. Let's look at the okay. So personal cycle is 27. So you're saying if these were 18, 22, 15, and 30, is that what you're asking?
Correct.
Okay. Then that would create a different. That's a good question. I have to find. I don't want to say exactly right now, yes or no. I could. I know. I could find out. Go ahead. There's a lot of these little things in these pools. Trust me. There's way more that we really probably want to dig into. As long as we have some of the basics covered, some of these little, intricacies are. There's a lot of little loopholes and stuff. So go ahead, Eric.
See, and that's where the confusion comes in for me and a lot of people. Erica, did you say you knew that?
Yeah, you have to be qualified for that week. You have to be a 2-star. So you need 20 cycles. Otherwise, you're not even qualified. So one of the things at the bottom of that page, it'll show you, you know, 2-star pool, how many weeks you were qualified. So you would not be even qualified in that group. Even though you passed your benchmark, you wouldn't be qualified. And honestly, in this example, what I would be doing is if you've got somebody that's a 2-star whose benchmark is 18, remember that month they have to increase by 10 anyway.
Correct.
You really want them, you average that out, they need to do 2.5 cycles more per week on average to even hit that. And that would give them over. So they should be shooting for 20 to 21 cycles every week anyway, in this particular example, to beat their benchmark and have an increase of 10 cycles or more.
So say Erica, one of the weeks, say they were at 18 every week, okay? But then one of the weeks they were at, they were 10 more. They were at 28.
Right.
Or no, say they were at 30. Well, whatever.
Because they weren't in the pools for 2 weeks. For a 2-star pool, you have to be in for 2 weeks. They would not qualify for this. They have to be in for 2 weeks. But let's say it was, let's say they had 100, they got 100 growth or whatever, 100 shares or something like that. They were in it for 2 weeks. That 100 would be divided by 2. So really, it's only 50 shares they'd be getting worth for that one.
Yep.
Only qualified for 2 of the weeks if they only had 18 cycles the other ones.
Okay. Thanks.
Sorry, I'm a numbers person.
Awesome.
Erica, this is Tiffany. So also, what about if one of those weeks, like let's say they hit over 20 the 1 week, and then another week maybe they hit 18, but their PIBs and other things brought them up. Would that help or no?
PIBs aren't calculated in leadership pools. PIBs are only calculated in for rank advancements.
Okay, thank you.
All right, Erica, I will let you continue and finish the presentation, please.
No, that's okay. I don't like presenting. This is why you're doing this, because I don't like presenting. I'll answer questions, but.
No, perfect. No, that's handy. So in this example here, obviously they were above. They were 2-star. They qualified as a 2-star because they had more than 20 cycles in each week. Their benchmark was 18. So you can see here the personal monthly net cycle growth was 47. So, and here's the number of weeks you're qualified. Did they qualify in the 2 to 3-star? Well, they were executive all 7 days of the week, and they were above the 2-star mark. And you can see here, you'll see like the other weeks where she was above 40, she was a 3-star. So there's your answer on the weekly qualification that Erica was mentioning. So let's take a look at how this works. So your weekly growth is added to determine your 4 PET and personal monthly net cycle growth. So we got 102 monthly net cycle growth, personal monthly net cycle growth of 47. Qualification, again, must be on auto ship. We went over this. Need minimum cycles by rank per week. We highlight that. We just went over that. So need to be a 2-star to have 20 cycles that week in order to participate that week, and need to have at least 2 weeks in the same pool. Again, need at least 1 net personal monthly net cycle growth, and growth of 10 personal cycles for the 2 to 3-star pool, and 20 for the 4 to 6 and 7-star and above. So you not only have to be growing your 4 PET, but you have to be growing your own personal cycles as well. So let's take a look at the share values here. 15, 18, and 30. And these are, I believe, what the share values are right now. If Ed would confirm that, I think, right, they're set still 15, 18, 30 for 2-star and above. Confirmed. 102 monthly net cycle growth. So remember, the other one we worry about just this 4 PET number here. That's your monthly net cycle growth. The share value for the 2 to 3-star pool is 15. So 102 times 15, 1530.
Adam, I have another question. This is Susan.
Yep.
So when you're in the 2 to 3-star pool, and then you are also in the 4 to 6 or 7, are you always in the 2-star pool? So do you always participate in all 3? How does that work?
You can jump around in the pools once you're 2-star and above. So there's no, you can be in the 2-star pool, the 4 to 6-star pool. So we have people that earn payouts in both. So
okay.
Yeah, because you'd be a 2 to 3-star, and then you might have just hit 4-star at the end of the month. We're not going to penalize you for only being in the 4-star pool for only a week, because you were still growing your business. So you're going to get the payout there.
And Adam, this is Cindy. This was my problem for last month. So I was in the 2 to 3-star pool for 1 week. I was in the 4 to 6 star pool for 3 weeks. And my personal cycle growth was at 19. And so if it would have been at 20, like it should have been, or above 20, I would have been paid out those 3 weeks in the 4 to 6 star pool at $18 a share. But because I did not hit that one qualification, I was booted back to the 2 to 3 star pool for the entire month, which I'm still grateful for. I still get something, but that's the mistake I made. And it was one little thing I overlooked. That's why I thought this was so important for everybody to learn.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, once you're a 2-star and above, they let you just jump around all these pools, which is awesome. And there's no 3-month or 6-month time limit. So as long as you're growing your business, you can participate. But yeah, you're exactly right. If you were at 19, so that 20 was could have been a big difference for you. But luckily, we don't penalize you for that, and you get paid out the entire month of the 2 to 3 star pool. So we do have some caps here, but if you look at the caps, it's quite a bit higher than the other pools. So 2 to 3 star, 4 to 6, 7 star and above. You can see if you're 10 to 30, its maximum is 10,000, 31 to 50, 25,000, 51 and above, 125,000. We had someone in the 7-star and above pool earn $49,000 this last month, which is pretty amazing. And then you can see here your cycle growth. If it's 1 to 40, maximum payout. So you have 2 different, kind of caps here. So you need to have you kind of need to see these with your 4 PET and your personal cycle growth. So if we could kind of divide this chart in 2/3 and 1/3 here. So your net personal cycle growth, if it's 1 to 40, maximum payout 10,000, 41 to 125, and 100 and above 125. So these are things that as you grow your business, you want to make sure you know what the caps are. You want to know, if you're at 30 cycle growth here, if you're at 31, your max payout goes up $15,000. So really important to know some of these little differences. Any thing to add to that, ladies, or are we good? I know it's kind of a lot of numbers there. If you're new, if you're a manager, consultant, director, obviously, you'll start to understand how these work as you advance through the plan. But it really comes down to if you're growing, if you stayed paid as executive director, if you stayed growing your business, you're growing your personal cycles, then you're going to participate in these pools, which is awesome. So 2-star and above pools, important information. You can now double or triple your 2 to 3 star pool only payout, only available for your first 3 consecutive months. So if you're brand new to the 2 to 3 star pool, if your personal cycle growth for the month is 11 to 20 cycles, you get double payout, a $5,000 max. If your personal cycle growth for the month is 21 or more, you get triple the payout, which is $10,000 max. Only applies to those first time playing is February 2012 or later. So again, if you have people on your team and they're just hitting 2-star and they're participating in these pools, boy, they want to go after it, because those 3 months, consecutive months, starting when they hit that first qualifier in that pool, they can double and triple their leadership pool payouts, and that's huge for someone that's growing their business. All right, so personal cycle growth for the month is 21 plus your cycles, your payout is triple, 10,000 max. So in this example, they were at 47 personal monthly net cycle growth. So instead of earning the 1530, which is what they would have earned based on the share value of 15 and 102 with was their monthly net cycle growth, it'd be tripled to 4590. Again, the bonus max out at 10,000. So they just made an extra $3,000 because they knew how to double and triple their bonus pool. And this is just a nice little comparison to finish up. So again, 1-star is the same as executive pool. 4-week benchmark as opposed to the 13-week benchmark for 2-star and above. Your monthly net cycle growth is measured on personal cycles. And the 2-star and above, it's measured on 4 PET cycles. And the personal cycles are just a qualifier. You have to have 2 cycle minimum to qualify. And this one, you have to have 10 personal cycle growth to qualify for 2 to 3-star pool, 20 for the 4 to 6-star and above. This one, you only have to have 1 qualifying week to participate, and the 2-star and above, 2 qualifying weeks needed to play. So that is the leadership pools. I know it's a lot of information, but that is the end of my slide deck. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. See if I do this correctly.
You did. All right. So who has questions? Anything you're unclear on? You have a question, Adam?
No, I'm good. I'm just kidding. I'm just testing.
All right. How about, Erica, you had mentioned something about a specific date, I'm sorry, that you put in your calendar. Like, what date that you double check everything?
Well, besides every week, I really check it the 3rd week of the month, because that way I can really see how I'm doing for my personal cycle growth, make sure that I'm on target. I mean, when I check it the very first day it comes out to see, I write a little sticky note of what my benchmark is for personal. And then I average, like, cause I play in the 4 to 6 pools right now. So I need to hit 60 cycles. My benchmark right now is only 57, but to hit, but for the 4 to 6 pools, I have to increase by 20. So I take 20 divided by 4. I have to do 5 more than my benchmark. So that, that averages out for me that I have to stay on target to do 62 every single week. So as long as I make sure I hit 62 every week, then I'm good. But I do double check at the end of the, like right around week 3, just to make sure that I'm, still on target and everything.
Okay. That's great.
Yeah, I look at my numbers right at the, as soon as they're released, I look at the numbers just so I know what my goal should be.
And I would get a big dry erase calendar and just mark off when the dates are, because you don't remember when some of these start and end. A lot of people probably don't. So you kind of mark off when the leadership pool starts, when it ends, and then you kind of write in there, okay, here's what my benchmark is, here's what I need to get each week, and you kind of track your progress that way. I think, if it's right in front of you, then you can maximize these. So I think a lot of people don't even know about them. And I called a gal yesterday and told her she got a check for $5,000. She had no idea she was even qualified. So it happens a lot more than you think. So yeah. I think
and one other thing to note is when you start playing in both the 2 to 2, the 2-star, 3-star, 4-star pools, jumping from the 2 to 3-star pools to the 4 to 6-star pools, when you only earn 1 week in the 4 to 6-star pools, they'll pay you at the 2 to 3-star rate the first time you do it. After that, you have to get it in twice, because you have to do 2 weeks in the 4 pool. Because I had from July, I had 3 weeks in the 3-star pool and only 1 week in the 4-star pool. But that was the second time I'd done that. So I did not get paid anything for that 4-week pool, and that sucked, because that was like it was that I left $800 on the table, or $500 on the table. So that pissed me off. So I'm really
Erica, so how did that happen? You qualified for 3 weeks in one and 1 in the other, but I thought you needed 2 weeks in the 2-star pool.
You do, but the first time that you do that you go from a 2 to, you're in, say you do have 3 of them in the 2 to 3-star pool and 1 in the 4 to 6-star pool. The first time you do that, the company will still pay you the week that you're in the 4 to 6 pool, but at the 2 to 3 pool rate. So they're kind of like, hey, you did grow your business. You weren't in it for 2 weeks, but here you go. You can at least get it paid for the 2 to 3 pool, but they only do that once. So if you do that another month, then, and that was the month that it was ridiculous how much I grew that week. So it was,
okay.
That was a learning experience. so to always hit my numbers now. So.
Adam, I love the reports in the back office, the 2 to, when we look at our team view, you can see it right there. And I refer to that every day. And I just want to see, but when does it update? Because it doesn't update, because it's hard to figure out what your 4 PET is doing. So is there a time? You don't know.
I don't know when it updates. No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's definitely, it lags behind for sure, because you can check with your personal benchmark. Right. So when you go in there and you know how many times you've cycled, you can see it's not caught up to you.
Right.
It's usually 1 day behind.
A day?
A day behind, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so that's a little hard to figure out, a little, when you're watching your 4 PET and you're trying to figure that out, so.
Yeah. All right, any other questions? Awesome. All right, Adam, thank you so much for doing this for our team. I'm sure we're going to have lots of people watching the recording, and if they post any more questions, then maybe I can just shoot them to you in an email form or something. Erica, what are you sharing? Oh, look at that. There's Adam's information. Take a picture.
Screenshot.
Just don't tell him you're on my team so he doesn't hate me for all the phone calls.
If you go into isogenicsbusiness.com under tools, there is a leadership pools at a glance page that will give you all these little things that he talked about, like all the minimums and everything. There's one for the director and executive, and then the other side is for just the 2 to star and above. So it's, if you can't remember, oh, do I need 10? Do I need 20? What's the max of each one? Just print that out so you can refer to that.
It's also in your 90-day game plan book too. They call it something different. They're starting to call the director and executive your personal leadership pools, and the 2-star and above your team leadership pools. So if you have one of those 90-day game plan books, it's in there too.
Great. Well, we appreciate you and all your time, Adam. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thanks for having us. It was fun. We could do this again.
All right, we will.
All right. See you guys.
See ya. Bye. Bye, everybody.
Bye.